What's up guys, CyberHoudini here and welcome back to your daily dose of gaming. It is the 11th of May. Can you believe it? We're already like halfway through May. Jesus Christ. My god, but it's finally starting to feel a little bit like summer today. It's definitely like sunglasses and top down in your car weather. I love it. I love it. So we've got a kind of a special day today. We're going to be celebrating Dead Space 2's 10-year anniversary. It's getting to that kind of point. This year, we celebrate a lot of game anniversaries. I'm going to try and get to as many of them as I can for sure. We've got the likes of Soul Reaver, the Tomb Raider series. We did GTA 3, we're going to do a little Dead Space 2 today, The Legend of Zelda. There's so many, you've no idea. So yeah, over the course of the year, I want to try and get as many of them as I can. But we've got some great news for you today. This is the Daily Dose of Game, and without further ado, let's kick off the news. Ooh, I like that. I've been trying to get some kind of handle on, you know, a little way of starting these without treading on anyone else's stuff, you know, because it's super tough to have any kind of original stuff anymore on the internet because it's all been done before. We're going to kick things off with a little bit of PSVR 2 news. So IGN over there are reporting on a possible leak of some specs for the PSVR 2. I know there's a huge amount of fans of the PSVR, myself included. It's actually the only VR headset I have tried. I do like VR. I'm actually a heavy motion sickness sufferer, so it tends to be in kind of small bursts, you know, but I have tried it out. I actually played a Doom VFR, and that was my favorite. I couldn't believe how right they got it, but that's the geniuses over at id Software for you. I mean, like, look at Doom Eternal. So yeah, with PSVR 2, obviously a lot of people want massively improved resolution, because the way VR works is you've got two lenses, so you are rendering it twice, so it does take a lot of horsepower, you know. So that kind of resulted in the first PSVR having around, I think it was like, was it 900p or something like that per eye. It's kind of hard to, they have a different resolution size because of the different lens, but it looks like they're going for 4K. They really are, which could end up being, you know, around 2K per eye, or however that happens. For me, I think the biggest issue with VR is its cumbersome nature. Most VR headsets are not that heavy, so and they're very well made that they distribute the weight on your head pretty well. You never feel like forward heavy or anything like that. But the issue is cable management, you know. You're always at risk of running over stuff. So slowly but surely, as the technology gets better and better, we are looking at wireless headsets. You know, they're out there already, but it would be nice for the PSVR to be wireless with the, you know, with the new kind of wireless charging and stuff that goes on now. There's no doubt that they'll find a way to do it, you know. So yeah, I'm super excited. I think, as much as people don't like to admit it, if there's one platform that's going to push something like VR to the masses, because at the end of the day, that's what you need to do. You can sell it to the rich guys, you can sell it to Silicon Valley, that's fine. But if you cannot sell it to, you know, Joe Blogs, as they always say, you know, Mr. Average Joe, or you know, the kids at Christmas, if you can't sell it to them at a reasonable price, it's never going to take off. It is what it is. So they have to really try and come in at that price. Now, I know PSVR itself is starting to come down in price. You can even get some good deals on it, and I definitely urge you guys to try it out. You can play it sitting down as well. It's all good. It kind of blows your mind. Even simple things like Astrobot's Rescue Mission, which is a 3D platformer, but you are the camera, you know, and you're able to look through caves and stuff, and it just kind of, it blows my mind. Hey Bernie, how's it going, dude? Happy Tuesday. Welcome in, dude. You're first in the building. We're just talking about PSVR 2. Have you tried any VR headsets yourself, Bernie? Even like a test run in a store or something like that? That's another thing they really need to do, is start setting up a lot more like demo kiosks. But yeah, I'm excited. Like, VR has always been a mixed bag for me in terms of, you know, how much resources it takes up in the industry. You know, we are an industry that is growing exponentially year over year, you know, especially now with this new generation. Even in COVID, you know, you see the movie business is almost crashing, whereas the game business has just ballooned thanks to, you know, having to stay at home and every celebrity under the sun picking up streaming, you know. So it's crazy how versatile this industry is. People think we're just, you know, a lot of people still think we're nerds and geeks playing video games. That ain't true. This is art, baby. This is a new medium. She's still very young, like 30, 40 years old. But we're out there kicking ass. We're making art. I love it. I love it. Hell yeah. So here's to the future of VR for sure. Yeah, I'm always just worried about certain developers taking up too much of their resources to make a VR game that may not keep the company financially viable, you know, like things like Radio Dawn, who made The Order 1886. I never really got a chance to go from there. Now they're over at Oculus and they're doing VR games exclusively now, which is kind of sad because that game had a lot of potential. For me anyway, it was still very impressive. Just, you know, it needs to be fleshed out. I would have loved to see them go down the path of vampires and werewolves already there, but like Frankenstein, Jack the Ripper, things like that, you know, just really kind of go in, because we don't really have as many of those games that go back to some of the, you know, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, that kind of stuff, you know, those old school original horror monsters. I would love that, and it would make kind of sense. And if they pushed, maybe, you know, they were definitely chasing the Gears of War vibe, but now Gears of War is chasing Uncharted, so it kind of works. The reason why Uncharted works so well is the characters, and, you know, the gameplay is what it is, but, you know, even by the time we got to Uncharted 4, it became such a more open experience, and it was a love letter to the fans, and I'd love to see other series go that direction, you know? Yeah. I've not played any VR headsets. Yeah, I think you'd enjoy them. You can probably pick up a PSVR pretty cheap as well. The ones I recommend is the Doom VFR and Astrobot's Rescue Mission. Super cool as well. So you get like a good vibe of gory shooter and a cute 3D platformer in the vein of, like, you know, Spyro and that. How do they stream in VR? Well, it's the same as anything. You're gonna be sending the image to your capture card, you know, whether it's in your PC, you just send it to your PC anyway. The issue I find with that is trying to capture yourself, you know, so trying to get yourself on camera is the toughest part, because VR does need a lot of room. That's probably the biggest issue, you know, like it's not something that you're going to be able to do in a tiny apartment, you know. You're going to need a nice, but you can sit down and play it too, which is cool. But yeah, that's what's going on there. How's it going? Hello, Cookie. How are you doing, man? Yeah, so that's how you stream there. It's all capture card stuff. I don't think there's that much of a difference in the setup. The only issue I find with people streaming VR games is you see what they see through their eyes, and it's a lot of quick movements, you know, a lot of shaking camera. It feels like someone holding like an old camcorder. So yeah, it can be a little bit weird at first, but I've seen people stream Resident Evil VR and that, Resident Evil 7 VR, and it was fine. It was completely fine. So it works all good. Anyway, on to the next piece of news. We've been talking a lot about Nier Automata, Nier Replicant getting re-released, and there's a little known game on mobile called Nier Reincarnation, and we're hoping that'll come to the West. It's a side game for sure, but it's pretty cool. So they already got like it's mobile only for now, but hopefully it'll come to console. Super cool. But they have a pre-registration open now, so you might be able to get in there, test it early. Kind of cool. I will be picking up Nier Replicant soon enough. All our stores are going to open shortly, and I'm just going to go wild on video gamers. Buck wild! But yeah, that's pretty cool. You know, I want to see nothing but good things happen to Yoko Taro. I know he's working on new games over at Square Enix. There's even been a rumor of possibly doing like a spin-off Monster Hunter game. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Really beautiful games for sure. Some of the most gorgeous games out there right now. Maybe not in terms of graphical fidelity, but in terms of the complete package of story, soundtrack, presentation. Something special for sure. We got a new trailer for Assassin's Creed Wrath of the Druids. This is the Irish expansion. I've been kind of waiting for this one. Still on the fence about it because we just got finished platinum and oh cool, that's the Giant's Causeway. Holy shit. That's up north. I think a lot of this takes place in Dublin, but knowing them, they'll take a nice brief kind of you know, piece of land maybe. I don't know for sure how they'll do it. Kind of how they did England. They were able to do most of southeast and the Midlands of England in one map. But yeah, the Druids, we already fought some of the Daughters of Lerion, and that'll give you kind of a taste test of what the Druids are like. Definitely a lot of kind of spiritual stuff going on, the pagans and that. You can see it already. Pretty cool. And then the Wrath of the Druids. The achievements and trophies are already up. Looks like there's going to be some nice new armor for Ivor. Right now, I don't know if you can buy it separately. They've only got the season pass up, which is $40 or €40, which I think is just ridiculous. They've been doing this for a while now. Season passes have no business going beyond €30. You know, that's half the game. $40 is nearly a whole game. Some games out there are brand new at 50, so you gotta understand. I understand there's a lot of time and money put into these things, but these businesses are not really been handled very well. They think, we'll get more sales this way, but they always jack up the price to get more sales instead of vice versa. I like it. Yeah, there'll be a lot of Celtic stuff going on. I love it. I'm super excited to try this out. The other piece of DLC is the Siege of Paris, so who knows? We've had, oh man, look at those fucking sickles. That's awesome. Very cool. Yeah, the sickles is definitely something akin to a lot of Irish folklore. We kind of started using them with farmers and that, we would use them, and you would do a swinging motion to cut all the corn and that. Same with the sides as well. So yeah, that's coming out May 13th. That is Thursday. It's a day before Mass Effect Legendary Edition comes out. So look, leave it with me. I hopefully I want to play this. I gotta see what kind of a job they've done for Ireland, because I never get to go to Ireland in video games. But yeah, that's the Wrath of the Druids expansion, as they're calling it. So it's pretty big. Alright, on to the next little piece of news. We have a brand new trailer for Shadow Warrior 3. All month long, IGN are showing off more and more of this game. Looks really cool. The first time I saw it, I said Doom Eternal, and now everybody's kind of towing the line. There's even articles calling it like Doom Eternal. I mean, Shadow Warrior came out, the original one back in the 90s, came out around the same time as Doom. So there was a lot of games like that. So it makes sense. It's like a gore pinata. I love it. The first Shadow Warrior game, if you pick it up cheap, it's so worth it. It's hilarious. I've been playing a little bit of Shadow Warrior 2 with Dynamite. That's been fun as well. Yeah, when is the day? Yeah, this Thursday. There you go. The 13th. Now, this game is due out hopefully sometime this week. The kind of unique mechanic they're going for this time is gore weapons. So if you kill an enemy just before he dies, you can literally rip a weapon out of his body from purely like a gore standpoint. I like it. It adds a whole unique vibe to it. It's definitely a lot more colorful than the Doom games for sure. It's just so gory and bloody. Let's hope... Oh, nice grappling hook. Let's hope they can retain some of that humor as well. But it's clear that the speed of the new Doom games, Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, have really put the pressure and encouraged a lot of other developers working on FPSs to step up their game, Speed is key. That's really cool. Anyway, my God, so much gore. I can't wait for this. There's not enough love for the Shadow Warrior series. So if you're a fan of like Wolfenstein and Doom, it's definitely worth it for sure. Hell yeah! So yeah, keep an eye on IGN. They have the rights to all the new trailers for Shadow Warrior 3. Nice. Shadow Warrior 3, a continual 2. They're all in the same series, but they've never been that connected by story. It's just kind of another story in Lo Wang's kind of... He's kind of like... He reminds me very much of... he's like an Asian Deadpool. He just doesn't give a fuck. He's awesome. Alright, next piece of news. EA just announced their EA Play Live, which is basically their E3 show. They have announced that for July 22nd, which to me signifies that that's probably going to be the last kind of conference live stream that we'll get for the course of E3. Like, that's right at the end of July. By then, you're almost pushing into, Gamescom. So, yeah, we'll see about that. That's pretty cool. I had spoken about this. Usually, E3 is the first and second week of June, respectively. But it seems like they want to kind of push it so they'll all have their own little moment in the sun instead of, compressed news over 3 days. Last year, just with how COVID was, it ended up taking place over the course of nearly 3 months. So they wanted to kind of, compress it a little bit. But I kind of prefer this way. Like, E3 is awesome and it is Christmas for gamers, but it's a lot. It's a lot to process, and you do miss a lot of news, and a lot of indie stuff especially gets pushed to the side, which is kind of sad. But yeah, I'd like to see how this goes. I know Xbox are really revving up they're ready to fire off a lot of new trailers. They said they've so much stuff that they've just run out of room for it, which is crazy. It's mad. Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that. Alright, on to the next little piece of news. There's been a lovely amount of Bloodborne concept art going around, and this stuff is special. There's been a couple of competitions for what a possible Bloodborne 2 could look like, and I absolutely love this idea. Like, Bloodborne's always been very gothic horror, but to give them a chance to add this kind of Arabian Nights kind of twist to it, like, holy crap, like, how far removed is that from what we know of that kind of Victorian gothic horror? I love it. I mean, you could still have that, but around Bloodborne, especially around the end, you heard talk of a lot of like different worlds and different areas, you know, and it'd be nice to do that. I always feel like games tend to play it a little bit too safe. I feel like the Elder Scrolls series was very much like that. Like, no matter how far you went to different areas in the new games, like they're masterpieces, but they always felt aesthetically the same, you know, because they all were part of Tamriel. I get that for sure. It was not until Skyrim that they truly switched it up, and it kind of just felt like a snow biome. But there's always been talks of distant, like, desert lands and that. Even Fable tried their best to go and do that, you know, because they are set in their own magical worlds, all these games. Like, why do you feel the need to constantly surround yourself with just cities and forests and a snowy forest and then a not snowy, you know? I really want you, I know that at the end of the day they feel like just new biomes, but I really want these devs to, you know, let themselves, I think what happens is they tend to try to leave things for sequels, you know. It's like, oh, that's a great idea, let's bookmark that for another game, and then that just never happens and they play it far too safe. But something like this with Bloodborne, I know, this concept artist even has all of the UI done and everything. Let me get his name, I feel bad. Here we go, concept art, Thomas Chamberlain Keane. Absolutely fantastic, and it was all part of Vati Vidya's, if that's how you pronounce his name. I'm sorry, he's pretty well known in the Soulsborne community. I don't know his name too well. A lot of these guys, they have unique names for their channels, but they never say it. Hence why most of the time I will start my stream or start my videos with saying my name, because you just don't know, you know. People can look at your and completely pronounce it differently. I've done it before, but that's pretty cool that he's doing that. It's a competition. You know, he's obviously probably chomping at the bit when you create your channel around a certain series. Like, God help those channels who only do like GTA or Rockstar games, who only seemingly put a game out every 5 years now. So I know we're all waiting on Elden Ring, but it's really cool to, you know, fantasize about what a possible Bloodborne 2 could be. They've even like shown off what they think the logo could be, and I actually really like it. It's simplistic but perfect. I don't know if it's on this page. It's basically Bloodborne, but the D, the line in the D and the line in the B in Bloodborne, the D and the B right beside each other, are just kind of highlighted and shown off in red to make Bloodborne 2, and it's just simple and perfect. I love it. Here's another one as well. I like this one because it maintains that kind of gothicness. You've got this cool caravan in the background, but it looks like one of those old bikes. I can't remember what they were called. It was like a penny farthing or something. No, that's something else. It was one of those old bikes with the big wheels, you know. I have a big wheel and a small wheel. Was it called a penny farthing? Maybe I'm right. Yeah, it was. Jesus, there we go. I just reached into the crevice of my mind and I pulled that out. It was a penny farthing. And it kind of reminds me of that. And I love the side. Obviously, you've still got a lot of blood in that, you know. These are vast wastelands. But this could just be one area, you know. I feel like each of the Soulsborne games always tend to really kind of go out of their way and give itself a little bit of creative freedom. You know, I feel like it was, what was it? Ethereal of the Boreal Valley in Dark Souls 3 just completely shifts the biome, shifts everything, and it feels like a painting come to life, you know. And in Bloodborne, I feel like that happens when things start to go crazy and, you know, everything's flipped on its head and you go to that Lovecraftian fucking world. I love it, especially with Rom as well and that endless ocean. So yeah, this is all just concept art, but my god, please, From Software, please see this. I'm hoping they do. Here's another one as well. I like this. This has a far more kind of tribal aspect, you know. And then, of course, we've got the doll is back, it would seem, in this concept art, which I love. I love that, to bring the doll. She's a little bit different this time. But this looks like something I have never seen in a game before, you know. It's truly different. Hell yeah. I love that in Nier Automata where you're kind of just in the ruins of this city and you have so many questions, and then out of nowhere you're just smack dab in the middle of a giant desert, and I just enjoyed that so much, you know. And it was so well hidden behind all the trees and the dilapidated buildings and highways and that. I like that. I like that a lot. I know, like I said, it's kind of simple when you think of it being a biome shift, but it's a little more than that. Damn, is the stream going down? Whoa, what is going on? We good? That was weird. We good? I think we're good. Alright. It did that thing again. It's Streamlabs. It must need an update. It jumps the kilobit up to 16,000, even though I have it set to 4,000. Hopefully we're good. Please let me know if the stream is okay. Seems to be okay on my side. Good God, 16,000 bitrate. Mother of Christ! Alright, I think we're good. On to the next piece of news. A lovely little surprise here. We've got Zombies Ate My Neighbors is coming back. We've got a Steam listing for Zombie Ate My Neighbors and its sequel, Ghoul Patrol, which I didn't actually know about. I didn't know Ghoul Patrol was a thing. I didn't know it got a sequel. I thought the sequel was something else. But there you go. So you can get both of them. It seems to be coming out at the end of June. That might be a placeholder for now. But it's super cool. If you haven't played this series, it is a classic, absolute classic. I know there's a lot of spiritual successors coming. Thank you for that, Bernie. Thank you. Just because I did notice it for a change. This happened before. It was wacky, absolutely wacky. It probably buffered for a second. To shoot up to 4 times the bitrate. It's not like my internet can't handle it, because when I first did a stream, when you first start Streamlabs and all that, it'll ask you, it'll go like, do you want us to set up Streamlabs and do a test according to your internet, you know, and we'll tell you what bitrate you need. And it's really handy, you know, it's like an auto setup thing. It's really cool. So when I did that, they were like, recommended bitrate 15K. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Now, on average, Twitch only allows 6K in your bitrate anyway. So that's just mad. But it's nice to see these back. Anyway, sorry to go off. Usually when there's a tech issue in the stream, it does tend to take over your mind a little bit, your mind share. Because, you know, you want to keep things smooth. We're going to be playing Dead Space 2 after this. Going to see if I can do a full run through of it in one stream. We are celebrating the 10-year anniversary. So yeah, if you're a fan, I don't know how much this is going to be right now, but hopefully they'll keep it below 30 bucks. They're super cool games. Like I said, there is a spiritual successor to Zombies Ate My Neighbors coming out. If you want to know more about that, just hit up OJJ. He if I miss out on stuff, he's usually the one that gets all the other news, which is pretty cool. Lets me know about things. He's awesome. Good on you, OJJ. Appreciate you. Alright, next little piece of news. Today's not too banging with news, but that's all good, you know. It means we'll save more for another day. This one was completely Nintendo and so silly. But they're launching a calculator app on the Nintendo Switch. And lo and behold, they're charging £8, which is around 10 bucks, 10 euro or so. It should be around that. But the fact that they're charging money at all for a calculator app in 2021 is so ridiculous and so Nintendo, unfortunately. They are so stupid sometimes, honestly, God. It's not a game. This is not a game. It's not connected to anything. It's a simple calculator. You probably can't even use it inside other games. You know what I mean? You're going to have to get out of the game to open the app and do that. Not that we don't have calculators on our phones, tablets, everything. It's so silly. Nintendo can be so brain dead sometimes. They are a great developer and publisher, and they do create magic, but my God, sometimes you just kind of want to knock their heads together and wake up a little bit, because they make some silly decisions, of course. But yeah, there you go, Nintendo Switch calculator. Oh God. Yeah, you can analyze the fact that you spent £8 of your money on a calculator. I love that. Sometimes Eurogamer can be a little bit cringe because of they try too hard with the humor, but sometimes they get it right, and it cracks me up. I do love their live team. They've got like Aoife, she's Northern Irish, she's cool, Aoife Wilson. They got Ian Higdon, who he's awesome. He's been around a good while. And there's like Outside Xbox as well. So you know they're all pretty cool. You got to give love to the European guys, because a lot of news I get comes in from them, you know. Hell yeah. Yeah, right, Bernie? Like £8, 10 bucks for that. So silly. Alright, yesterday we talked a little bit about Coalition, who are the Gears of War developer. They are a first-party developer owned by Microsoft. They've been talking about moving over to Unreal Engine 5, which is great, because what they've done with Gears, even just Gears 5, how they've created that and done a great job on, you know, whatever that engine was. Was it Unreal Engine 4? That's crazy. And we know Unreal Engine 5 is still kind of, it's early enough. It's been out a little while, but still early enough. But a lot of Square Enix games and next generation games are progressing over to Unreal Engine 5. Whether you love the engine or not, it definitely is the biggest, the popular one. It is owned by Epic, you know, who started off Gears, then created the Unreal Engine, then just ballooned into mass fortune. They now have the Epic Game Store and Fortnite, which is the, you know, the $1 billion revenue generator every month. So yeah, these guys, they've said that they don't have anything to announce right now, but they are working on multiple projects, and that is absolute music to my ears, because these guys really deserve to flex their creative muscles. They've now worked on Gears 4 and Gears 5 and a couple other things like that. And I feel like I don't want them to become just a Gears developer. It's the same way I feel about 343. People give them a lot of shit for, you know, how things are going with Halo. But they've done an insane amount of work, especially when it comes to the Master Chief Collection, which I think is, you know, the best value for money out there right now. You can play the whole series, and even as I speak right now, they're still updating it and just adding more and more features to the Master Chief Collection. But I would love to see them work on a new IP as well. I think a new generation should signify new IP. Sony did a great job with that at the start of the PS4 generation. They were like, they sat down all their first party devs and was like, alright, I want you all to get as many ideas as your team can do together and present them to us, and we'll pick one, and and that's how we got things like Horizon Zero Dawn, you know, even The Order 1886, and how the new God of War is now, you know, huge in a series that was highly, like, God of War, we loved it as action, you know, fans, but nobody took God of War truly serious. It was always just this angry dude with a couple of, always in bed with a couple of chicks with their boobs out. That was it, you know. We loved it just for the good old-fashioned gameplay and action and gore. But yeah, now with the new God of War, they've humanized Kratos. He has a story, as a family, and I can't wait to see what they do with that. And it's incredible, you know. It's the storytelling in that God of War game is movie quality, you know. It's awesome. Good for them. All right, next piece of news. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, so we've got Sony hiring for their XDev. Their XDev team is basically, it's exactly what it says in the tin right there. It means external devs, and what they do is they tend to go around and help out with a lot of, you know, first party, second party games. Make sure they get up to the quality and standard that you know, Sony fans love and Sony know themselves. So this is pretty good. Like, we know that Japan studio, unfortunately, has been closed down, and a lot of that talent is gone. But with the XDev, I mean, these guys are capable of making their own games. So it's nice to see that they're hiring in Japan and Asian markets. So hopefully maybe they can snap up some of the Japan studio team for sure. I felt like after what happened with The Last Guardian, and like even they kind of split off, and what was it, Fuji? What's his name? I can never think of his name. I'm sorry, but the creator of Shattered Colossus and Ico and The Last Guardian, he went on to make his own studio. He broke away from that, and I can feel like after that happened, and the fact that it took 9 years to get The Last Guardian out, I felt like the team, you know, even in Japan studio, had just lost a lot of their heart. So it kind of makes sense. I know he's working on a brand new game, which is supposed to be coming out sometime next year. Hopefully. Hey, Cyber. Oh, dang, I think this is the first time I've ever seen you without a hat. Really? Damn. I swear I don't wear them that much. How's it going, Katerina? How you doing? How are the trash animals today? How are they doing? Is it like a hierarchy? I hope it is. I just want to see a little raccoon sitting on top of a trash can with a little crown on his head. Just, yeah. We've heard of the Illuminati, but have you heard of the Trashonati? Alright, yeah, so this is a little thing I started, I think it's almost 2 months on the go now, which is kind of cool. It's a little game news show I've been wanting to do. I call it the Daily Dose of Gaming. I know there's a lot of more of that going on. But weirdly enough, when I started YouTube, I thought, you know, the whole idea was to have some kind of slogan. Oh, poor naive Cyber. And my slogan at the time was the Daily Dose of Crack. And after about 5 American people came in and said, dude, are you selling crack or what's going on? Because they didn't understand that crack in Irish means fun. So it was their daily dose of fun. So I quickly got rid of that. And it just kind of moved on to Cyber and all that. And then we came over to Twitch. But anyway, I love doing this. I try and keep it below a half an hour. It's not always that easy. But it's nice just to go over some game news for the day. You'd be surprised how much goes on each day, which is kind of cool. Hell yeah. As you know, at first glance you'd go, there can't be that much gaming news, but you'd be surprised. I have yet to run out of a day of news. I have yet to do this. Alright, this was something cool I found out. The Resident Evil Village community has been popping off. And they're doing a lot of crazy mods. Just like this, someone has managed to change the baby's face into Chris Redfield. So we've got tiny baby Redfield. Ah. That was a weird story she was teaching or reading the kid for sure. But these mods are crazy. We also saw that they've managed to do put Thomas the Tank Engine on Lady Dimitrescu's face, which is truly horrifying. We got Chris Redfield and Baby Chris and all Chris. People are fascinated with Chris for some mini me Chris. Yeah, these mods are fucking amazing. I love it. This one just has, for some reason, we've got Frank West from Dead Space. Or no, not Dead Space. Sorry, I got Dead Space on the mind. Dead Rising. We're going to do a little bit of Dead Space 2 after this. It is the 10-year anniversary of Dead Space 2. I'm excited for that. And this one, truly nightmare fuel. Truly. They've managed to put Baby Rose's head on Chris Redfield. Yeah, that is nightmare fuel right there. My God. I had so much fun with that yesterday. We kicked it off. I tried hardcore mode, and it is kicking my ass. But we are gonna stick with it. Determination will rule the day or something like that. Or, you know, I'll rip my hair out. But no, what I need to do is just focus. I'll go in and mess around offline. Get a little more situated. Get our weapons upgraded and that. And we'll be flying. We'll be flying. Sometimes you can get lucky, but then you can kind of have buyer's remorse at the start when it comes to upgrade, you know. It's like FOMO for inside video games. It's like FOMO Inception, where you have the fear of missing out in a game because you upgraded shit too early. So that's what I was like. I'm like, do I sell this? Dude, it's a fucking crystal skull. It says sell it. But do I? Do it, man, or I'll bash your head. Well, I made new emotes of all the trash animals. Oh, I hope they get approved. They better. I love raccoons. I know we talked about that yesterday, but I love them. I love that they have this little kind of, what would you call that? Like a little mask over their eyes. They really are little cat burglars. Sometimes they even try and steal. Have you seen that video of a raccoon trying to steal a cat? I don't even want to know what he was going to do with that cat. There's some weird videos online as well about what goes on in, I don't know why, but it just seems to be a lot of, third world countries, but they train the monkeys to put them on these bikes and stuff. It's really weird. And they send them off on the bike, and they're trained to kidnap kids. It's fucking crazy. And then they pull the monkey back on a leash. Horrible animal cruelty. Not to mention, you know, kidnapping and that. You know, it's fucked up. It is fucked up what is going on. It's honest to God one of those things you have to see to believe. Don't ask me how I got from there to there, but that's how my brain works. Anyway, so I love the modding community. We've already talked about how amazing it is that there's a possibility that the Witcher devs may be using fan mods to make the next gen version of The Witcher 3 even better, which would be insane. That would be, I think that would be like a landmark moment for modders to really get that recognition. You know, most developers go around and shut this stuff down, which is, it's kind of sad, because at the end of the day, 9 times out of 10, they're making your game better. And silly little things like this, where, you know, you might think they're nightmare fuel and that, but some of them kind of weirdly go viral, especially like the Mr. X Resident Evil 2 remake, X Gonna Give It To You. People love that stuff, you know. Rest in peace, DMX. Just weird timing, I suppose. But that was really a really sad, like, freak kind of thing to happen. No one was expecting that to happen. He was pretty young. But yeah, it's mad the way it does. The mods can take off. Speaking of Resident Evil 8, I was telling you guys that this is selling like absolute fucking cupcakes. But they've just announced, I don't know why I did that. They just announced that they've sold through 3 million units. And it is only out Friday. So over the course of the weekend, they've sold through 3 million. That is insane. Absolutely insane. And they've said the whole Resident Evil franchise exceeded 100 million units. This is over on IGN reporting on this. Pretty damn cool. We know that Steam hit 100,000 concurrent players, which is pretty cool as well. I know you guys have seen a lot of streams of it for sure. It'll be around for a while. That's the way it goes. The same thing happened with Resident Evil 7. But I'm glad it's a great game. I know there's a lot of mixed opinions in the community, but the same reaction happened with Resident Evil 7. You're always gonna have the die-hard fixed camera angle guys not fully on board with the first person kind of stuff, and I understand that. That's why they try to appease to both audiences with the Resident Evil remakes 2 and 3, and then these new games. You know, it's a new direction, old remakes. It kind of works. You know, you cannot be a pissed off Capcom fan right now because you're getting everything. There's even a cheeky little rumor of them bringing back Dino Crisis, which I would love because I feel like it was kind of Jurassic Park that really did just bring that kind of fear of dinosaurs into the mainstream. Like, they are wonderful creatures for sure, but just like the creatures we have nowadays, crocodiles and sharks and that, you fuck with them and they will kill you. So yeah, after that, Dino Crisis, it wasn't that long after Jurassic Park that it kind of came out. It basically is Resident Evil with dinosaurs, you know. It was a very mixed series as well because they just kept changing things up between 2 and 3. We don't even talk about 3. But I would love to see it come back. I really would, because there was some fucked up shit, you know, where you had like the classic dogs jumping through the windows in the original Resident Evil. They loved sending raptors through the windows in Dino Crisis. So yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, the Thomas the Tank Engine one is so good, and whatever it is, like I think they did it with Mr. X as well, and they added the music of that Thomas the Tank Engine remix. You know that song that's going around. So fucking funny. Alright, last piece of news for today. Just a small little piece of news, but Sony are getting ready to show off their Days of Play, which was a really cool thing. We know that we've had a stay at home and play at home and all that, where they've been giving away a lot of games. The Days of Play is kind of like giving back to the community. There'll be a lot of cool events happening for sure. So keep an eye out for that. It's nice to see them doing this as well. I like that, you know. Sometimes these things will be done as a once-off to get a little bit of good standing with your community, and then it's never done again. So it's super nice to see them bring it back over and over. Biohazard, how's it going, dude? Dude, there's, if you want to talk Resident Evil, there's the man right there. How is it going, man? How are you enjoying Resident Evil? Knowing you're probably like 3 or 4 playthroughs deep. You're working on a speedrun. We had Soul in, who was on his 3rd playthrough as well. I like to take my time and kind of breathe in and enjoy the game, especially when you put down like $60-70, man. I'm gonna take my time. It's like ordering like a $50 steak and just fucking putting it in a blender and drinking it. You know, you wanna enjoy your time with it. Hell yeah. I know a lot of people. Can you believe it's been 4 years since Resident Evil 7? I beat it 4 times. I was right. Fucking nailed it. Hell yes. You did it in 2.5 hours. Damn, dude. Nice. Everybody's going for that speed run. I love it. But here's the thing about speedruns. It's super cool to see it, but it always kind of makes you go, damn, if it could be finished that quick, you know, even without big out-of-bounds glitches and that, you start to wonder, should they have, you know, put more in there. Are you happy with it, dude? What did you think of it, like, horror-wise? I know, you know, horror will always be subjective. I've seen people who won't play certain games. I'm like, that's not scary at all. So horror is objective, same way comedy is objective. So, or subjective, not objective. I'm objective. Don't be objectifying me. Subjective. Anyway, alright. First playthrough took me 11 hours. Very cool. Game of the year, man. I'm glad. Cool. And we're right in the middle of the year as well, so who knows? I doubt anything will top that. Do you think we'll get some DLC, dude? I think we were very blessed with the DLC for Resident Evil 7. I just recently went through it as kind of preparation for Village, and I was actually very surprised with Not a Hero and End of Zoe, which I had not played myself. I really enjoyed them. I think I enjoyed Not a Hero more than End of Zoe, but they were both really, really good. I loved End of Zoe just going, fuck it, let's completely change up the formula for the first time ever in Resident Evil and just go with the fisticuffs. I liked it. I liked the fact that they had Joe Baker in there as well. What do you think they'll do for 9? People were saying, like, so you've got, like, Resident Evil 7 is, you know, hillbilly horror. Then Resident Evil 8 is gothic horror. So what will they do with Resident Evil 9? It'd be interesting to see what they'll do with that. So they've gone to America, they've gone to Europe. What's next? I would love to see them go back to something like maybe do like Japan, you know? Let's do some Japanese, like Japanese Korean horror. You know, that's where some of the nightmare fuel exists, you know? Junji Ito, you kidding me? Hell yes, that'd be really cool, right? But then you'd have to be like, how the hell are we going to get him over there? And they've been very sneaky how they've got the 7 in you know, Resident Evil Biohazard, and then you've got the 8 Greek numerals in Village. So how will they do it with 9, which is like 1x? They'd have to find something. It would not necessarily have to be an object, you know. It could be any word at all. Yeah. We'll see how things are going for sure. It's good. More action. Very RE4. Definitely, dude. Definitely. Yeah, because RE4 remake. I'd say, I'm hoping this is what they're going to do. But what I would do is, I would let RE4 remake go on the back burner just a little bit. And let them really work on refining it. Because Village is a little bit too close. Like, in a world, imagine if we got, like, Resident Evil 4 remake next year. People would just compare it to Village so much. You know, it'd feel like Village, you know, 1.5 or whatever. Even though we know that it's the other way around. Like, RE4 is such a classic that, there was clearly, even from the very start, when you're just surrounded by those lichens and you're waiting for the bell to go off, it was clearly an inspiration. I'd like for them, you know, if the rumor about the Dino Crisis remake, I'd love to see that. Then maybe the next one, I'd like to see Code Veronica. That would be I think that's the only one that's never got like a true blue remake, you know. Even Zero got like a remake. I know the Resident Evil 0 and 1 remake that we have currently is, you know, a little bit long on the tooth, a little bit old now, but they're still really great. It'd be nice to see them get another remake, but if that was the case, then Resident Evil 1 would have over 5 remakes, so maybe that's too much. But, you know, after seeing what they've done with Resident Evil remake of the 2 and 3, it'd be interesting, you know. Those are very mixed. I think a lot of diehard Resident Evil fans are a little bit mixed on those games. I can understand that. I think, for me, because 3 is probably my favorite, the remake hurt me a little bit just because they did a great job with Nemesis. Everything, presentation was perfect. Everything's great. Jill looked fantastic. It was a gorgeous game, but cutting out a good quarter, almost 2 quarters of the game at the end, it really hurt. I missed the clock tower for sure. I mean, we did get a lot more moments with Nemesis, which was great, you know, but it felt like a blockbuster movie instead of, you know, the classic that it was. I would have loved for them to throw in like a little nod to the original, maybe have one door loading screen where Nemesis comes through and, you know, that kind of way. Just a little nod, because that was always the true fear. You were so used to 1 and Resident Evil 2 where you could use the door loading screens to run, to hide, you know. You had that brief moment of safety, you know, 3 seconds before it all started up again. But when they did it in Resident Evil 3, the original, you did not have a second. He was straight through that door and running at full tilt. And there's no fear like this giant monstrosity of Nemesis running at you. He was like a fucking linebacker in, you know, in football. It was, ooh. Yeah, Nemi was too linear. Yeah, yeah, they did go for set pieces for sure. They were fantastic though, right? But damn, I feel you on that. They even did a great job with Carlos as well. I don't think 8 is getting DLC. Oh, yeah, the Mercenaries is a great idea. Oh, I hope so. Dude, you never know. Like, they made things happen before. Like, I never thought Zoe would come back up again, and they completely created a brand new character in Joe Baker. See, you never know, you know. Maybe we'll see things through the eyes of one of the villains. There are so many of them. And Lady Dimitrescu has become her own little fucking porn, her own porn channel, right? Jesus Christ. My God, everywhere I look. Right, if you go onto Amazon right now, don't blame me, this is not safe for work for sure. If you go on Amazon and just type in Resident Evil 8, as if you're looking for the game, and scroll down, oh my God, I didn't know you could do this, but the amount of people selling, like, their smut on there, it's all art, but it's smutty art. It's so funny. Like, Amazon need to just reel it back in a little bit. The daughter's got me, yeah, everybody's saying that, yeah, damn, especially, what was her name? Is it Daniela? Hell yes. Imagine what they smell like, though. They smell like rotten flesh and flies. And sometimes it's worth it. But yeah, Capcom are on an absolute... Yeah, they're on just such a high moment. It's great, you know. I hope it continues. between what they've done with Devil May Cry as well. It's back and kicking ass after, you know, Devil May Cry 4 was a little rough. It was still a good, like, solid 8 for me. I enjoyed it. But Devil May Cry 5 is banging. And then Monster Hunter's just taking off. So, hell yeah. They've also got that, is it Pragmata? Which is probably not coming for another 2 years. That it looked like Death Stranding, and you got the guy in the spacesuit and the little girl up in space with the Matrix. That's a whole new thing for them. So yeah, Capcom, and then all the revenue that this is generating will be put back into it. You know, it probably will be, you know, 3 years from now when we'll get Resident Evil 9. But in that time, who knows? Who knows what's possible? I want 9 now. Oh, dude, I know. Well, so yeah, oh man, it's exciting times for sure. I'm so glad you're happy with it, dude. I'm so glad. Like 4 playthroughs, you must have been happy with it. I gotta say though, I'm not that far into it, but what the hell is going on with Ethan's body parts? This dude, he's lost more limbs than a leper. Alright, okay, so we're gonna leave it there for today with the daily dose of gaming. That's the little gaming news for today. We talked about the PSVR. That was super fun. Thank you for joining me.